Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Rabiatul Adawiyah binti Mak Salihin as student A. Before we continue to the main event, allow me to share the situation that happened around us within these past few months. As we know, the spread of COVID-19 outbreak has severely impacted the world economic growth including Malaysia. This is due to the implementation of Movement Control Order (MCO) throughout the country where many sectors were temporarily shut down in order to break the COVID-19 chain, except certain essential sectors or companies that get permission from the government to continue their operation. The impact of MCO can also be seen when Bank Rakyat Malaysia reported that our country gross domestic product (GDP) growth in the first quarter of 2020 only reached 0.7% compared to 4.5% in first quarter of 2019. Thus, to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 and also MCO, the government decided to spend a total of 250 billion ringgit Malaysia in prihatin stimulus package to ease the Malaysians' burden as well as the business community. There are three main objectives of the stimulus, and one of them is to support businesses. According to Ministry of Finance Malaysia, the government will assist the business sector, especially SMEs, by providing funds that cover 5 key initiatives, assist of business cash flow by implementing 3 measures, conducting social financial program, and provide guarantee facility scheme for corporates. So today, we will discuss about prihatin stimulus package in terms of SMEs and large firm point of view.
Okay, thank you, Rabiatul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Surainita binti Muhammad Sufian as a student B. So, from the latest speech by our Prime Minister, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, he received a lot of feedback from the public. Many agree and support the economic stimulus package announced by the government. As we know, economic stimulus package Prihatin Rakyat worth 250 billion. A total of 10 billion has been allocated under the Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package for SME. This came after the recent announcement by the government of Malaysia to help the people in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. MCO in the country. The Prime Minister, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, initially announced a list of assistance to help lessen the burden of Malaysians from all walks of life, and the SME are also included through an additional prihatin economic stimulus package. This means the total amount allocated to help SME and micro SME total to 14.5 billion, which is very significant. The government will help to subsidize wages for up to 7.9 billion. Special grant for micro SME. Furthermore, to ease the financial burden of SME, the government has also undertaken a number of initiatives to facilitate SME in deriving the full benefit from all the assistance that have been announced. Regardless to the business, SME business is more tough because SME need to pay more expenses compared to the large firm that have established well.
Hi, my name is Juliana binti Zakaria as a candidate C. Here I am is about to explain the importance of prihatin stimulus package for large firm side. As we know, Prime Minister had announced the prihatin stimulus package in order to help the Malaysian to cope off with the COVID-19 pandemic where most of the people are being affected. Same goes to SMEs and large firm. According to our Prime Minister, he had announced an additional measures of prihatins or prihatin plus after received a feedback from associations and chambers of commerce representing the small and medium enterprise. who have requested the governments to review the assistance that they have received in the economic stimulus package. This is because most of them provide their view that their business are affected and they need an assistance from a government. As I am representing the large firm side, I think that the large firm also have an equal importance to this stimulus package. For the informations, large firm had involved in the contributions of the growth of Malaysia. It can be seen where large firms such as industries of productions and refinings of palm oil, electronic, pharmaceuticals, and medical technologies have made Malaysia as a strong industrial country. So, in my opinion, it is unfair if governments only concerned about the SMEs company, where large firms also had been affected and they need this assistance of stimulus package in order to maintain the growth positions of the Malaysia country during this challenging pandemic situation.
Thank you for both of SMEs and large firms. Now, we will move to the counter argument session. With due all respect, please start it.
Okay, thank you. As we know, SME are the key driver of the country economy. The SME sector contributes to more than two-thirds of total employment in our country and almost 40% to the economy. Therefore, it is important for the sector to remain resilient in the face of economic pressure that are affecting us all. Then, government also understand the difficulties faced by employers in retaining their employees in this trying time. In this regard, the government encourage employer to actively engage with the employees on employment term, including the option of pay cuts and unpaid leave during the MCO period by reduce the levy on foreign worker by 25% to all companies with work permit that will expire in the period of 1 April to 31 December 2020. This reduction is not applicable to the domestic help sector. We need to pay for our employees. We are small medium enterprise and we also need to pay for interest and loan. That's why government give us an option to choose at a scheme to ensure more beneficiaries of this facility by provide discount for rental to SME in retail sector which are operating on premise owned by government-linked companies such as Mara, Petronas, PNB, plus discount or rental waiver on their premise to SME tenants.
Okay, as a SMEs company becoming a key drivers of the country's economy, the large firm also had participated in the contributions of economy. For your information, large firm in Malaysia play an important role where it has high in contribution of the economies on Malaysia. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, large firm had participated in export activity which had registered a double-digit growth of 17.9%, driven by higher export of electricals and electronic, liquefied natural gas, and also crude oil. The crisis of COVID-19 had affect the financial issues of a large firm. Over a quarter, 26% of large company had cited that the change in government policy is the most important assistance required, which is include tax break, lowers of interest rates or fee waivers. From that, in my point of view, I think that the assistant mentioned is more focusing on controlling and maintaining the cash flow of business. This is to ensure that the large firms are able to survive to pay for a fixed cost, such as a machinery, rent, labors, and electricity. So they need to get this prihatin stimulus package in order to help them cover all the costs. We know that fixed cost is the expenses that don't change from month to month regardless of the business sales or productions volume. So this is a big burden for a manager to find the capital to pay for all the costs.
Yeah, it's true. Every business is burdened during this pandemic, and also all business get impact during MCO. But did you know SME give working opportunity? SME make an important contribution in jobs creation and productivity. it will be confirmed that many people will lose their job and getting suffered during this pandemic. Based on the article from The Age, the growth of the service sector has made it the most important employer in Asia Pacific, and most are small and medium enterprise. In Malaysia, SME account for 70% of employment. Therefore, during this pandemic, Malaysia have faced implication of high unemployment. SME also has suffered more than 50% drop in business within 1 week of the movement control order, stated by Azrael Anwar for malaymail.com. As we know, for small retailer and small business, the sale become extremely slowed down and give bad impact. So I feel so blessed and thank to the government that give this kind of stimulus that can help us as a small medium enterprise to survive during this pandemic and can retain job without fire out our worker.
Okay, according to your point that state that SME suffers more than 50% drop in business during this pandemic, I want to brief you that large firms also had been exposed to huge impact. It can be seen where articles of the Age market had stated that Asia company expected to post a loss of RM 1.1 billion amidst the COVID-19 outbreak. This occurred due to the lower demands and yield in Malaysia, Thailand, and Philippines. According to CGS-CIMB research, it said that it was slashing its previous forecasted financial year ended December 31, 2020, core net profit estimates of RM 147 million to RM 1.1 billion core net loss, as the COVID-19 continued to impact Malaysia Air-Asia, Thai Air-Asia, and Philippine Air-Asia. Besides, Astro Awani had reported that Air-Asia company had retrenched 250 of its staff for downsizing its operations. This is because the company had no choice aside from organizational restructuring during this pandemic in order to keep survive. From here, we can see that the large firm also suffered with this pandemic situation. And why large firm is not eligible for that stimulus package? This is not fair for large firm as they also being affected. And I think that large firm also need this kind of government assistance as to support their business to survive in this challenges pandemic.
From the discussion, Ms. Rainita from SME side really appreciate and grateful that the government tried their best to help SMEs community. They even allocate a huge amount of fund to ease the entrepreneurs' burden so that the businesses can went through the hard phase. For them, the prihatin package is a very significant help as their hands are full compared to large firms that have stable financial. They feel they deserve to receive various assistance because they have contributed to the national economy and provide many job opportunities. So, if they're not getting any helps, the business will definitely shut down and lead to a high unemployment rate in Malaysia. However, Ms. Juliana on the large firm side does not really agree with the government act, which focusing too much on the SMEs community. In their opinion, they also need stimulus assistance to maintain their business growth, considering the contribution made for the economic growth before the outbreak. They also stated that their expenses were greater and need to bear with the fixed expenses even if the company are not operating. They also proved that even large firms exposed to a huge impact of the pandemic, especially those related to travel and tourism industry. In short, no matter which categories the business are, they both play a huge role in the national economic growth. So it is better for the government to include large firms in the stimulus assistance, even the help is not as much as what the SMEs acquired. The Fairness Act will boost their morale to work harder in improving their business as well as the nation's economy. Both SMEs and large firms should take this current situation as their lessons to always prepare for the unknown future. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.